He was waiting to have dinner, and now he's here with us, Stephen A. Smith.
That's it.
Can I just say something, though? You had so much fun with the Cowboys loss, and you laughed, and you wanted them to stay together, and then you were ready to have your dinner. You were ready to spend time with your family. And then your team, the Knicks, willed you back into the studio.
Well, see,
because the head coach has been fired.
There's no surprise. There's no surprise because I was on a high because the Dallas Cowboys lost, and as a result, their fans across the world are absolutely miserable, which makes my day. And then I reminded that there's something worse than the Cowboys, and that's the New York Knicks, who are absolutely god-awful. We understand that.
Yes.
They got rid of David Fizdale. He was a coach that, from what I'm told, wanted out. It was frustrating him, the entire situation. A 21-83 record can frustrate you. There is no doubt about that. He's been awful. But people that are willing to stop there, and the New York Knicks organization has an abundance of people that are willing to do that. I'm not letting anybody off the hook. You accumulate this roster. Their mentality was bringing a bunch of forwards because you're going to need a multitude of dudes to play on that front court. You need veterans to help season the young guys, et cetera, et cetera. But in the same breath, they want to say that they supported David Fizdale. I would find that more believable if David Fizdale was playing Kevin Knox. I would find that more believable if young players were being developed. It didn't seem like any development was taking place. There seemed to be no rhyme or reason to how they were playing. Jalen and Paul and Jay will tell you in a heartbeat. There were games where we saw Marcus Morris bringing the ball up the court and actually running the offense. I don't know about anybody else, but I know those three brothers over there know this. We have never seen Marcus Morris do that in his career until he became a New York Knick. So suddenly, he's a forward, and the next thing you know, he's the second coming of Rajon Rondo, only with a New York Knicks organization. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's gotten on my last damn nerves. I'm pretty ticked off, but it is what it is. What do you want? What do you want,
Can we talk about what this really is? This is black on black crime. You know that, right? This is black on black crime. How many black coaches do we have in the NBA currently? 6? 20% of the league, black coach. I don't care if he wants to go or not, Fizdale. We're going to ride this damn thing through. You're going to continue to fight through this, and we're going to build for the future.
So you
don't let him go.
So you're saying that Fizdale should have stayed?
Yes.
I disagree.
Why?
Because when I looked at him, I saw a man that was defeated. I saw a man that was frustrated with how moribund and pathetic this situation was. There does come a point in time where if you love and you care about somebody, or at least you respect them, you release them from their misery. And the New York Knicks are in a miserable situation. There is no way around that.
So it was a love. It was a move of love. It was a move of love. They let him go.
Let's go with that.
And it was with love.
Once you don't get KD, once you're going to get Kyrie, you know what this is.
Yes.
This is called a long-term investment.
Well,
it's nothing about a short-term investment on a team. When did these expectations come to fruition that we thought this team was going to make the playoffs?
I will say this to you. I will say this to you. Clearly, there was no long-term, which is the indictment, because even though the Knicks will tell you that, the reality is that they have a whole bunch of guys on their squad that are one-year players. You paid Julius Randle a 3-year deal. You drafted R.J. Barrett. I get that. But pretty much when you look at this roster, there's nothing long-term going on here. It seems like the plan is create cap space so we can attract the star, but there's no way in hell you're going to attract the star with the situation being the way that it is, the way that it has been, and I'm really sick and tired of having a reminder.
It's the best coaching gig of all time.
Really?
Just get in and get out. Get your money. It's guaranteed money.
Well, you can
That's
say
what
that.
any coach would do.
You can look at it that way. I can look at it another way. There's nowhere to go but up because you can't get much lower.
I feel
You
so
didn't
bad
say that
for y'all.
about
Y'all so
Cowboys,
optimistic
though.
all the time.
But tell me, what would you do? What would you do if you were in control here? What is the next move that your New York Knicks have to take or should take?
Me personally, and I've said this, whether it's about Mark Jackson or to a lesser degree, I think you're going to hear the name Jason Kidd. They're going to deny that. I think you're going to be hearing Jason Kidd's name come up in the days and weeks to come. I'm being told that that's somebody that Dolan likes. We'll see what happens. Here's what I will say to you. I've always been about Mark Jackson, but it's never been because of basketball. It's because New York is such a depressing basketball situation for decades. It's not a basketball coach that these guys need, and it stops there. You need somebody that when he speaks, he's believable. He's one of your own, and when he talks, you're going to be inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt and exercise patience because you finally have somebody talking basketball for the franchise that New Yorkers can relate to. The problem is when you think about, listen to me, and I'm not saying he should, but when you think about Steve Mills, or even when you think about Scott Perry, who has a damn good reputation in the NBA circles, okay? The problem is they are perceived as being an extension of Dolan. Right. So even when they talk, it's hard to really take them seriously because you're wondering when Dolan's going to get in the way. Whereas with a coach that has folks in New York who support him is running his mouth every day and speaking to the media, that is the only chance you have to get New Yorkers to get back on board. Because we're all depressed.
Okay.
We're all depressed.
I can tell.
Well, while we're on the subject of
You
coaches,
don't care about me,
he
Jay.
does.
You don't care about
He
me,
does.
Jay.
It's okay.
Jay does not care about me. No.
Wait, you guys, look at this.
You
Look
need
at
to be
this.
comforted.
Look at
You need
this.
to be comforted.
Steve Kerr has tweeted about the situation, so take a look at what he has to say about the Fizdale firing. Yeah, if I had gone to New York, that would have been me like 3 years ago, Steve Kerr said. I'm well aware of that. Kerr almost took the job the year the Knicks hired Derek Fisher.
Now, Dave, here's the part that Steve Kerr did not say in that tweet. Dolan didn't want to give him a 5th year, didn't want to guarantee it, but then turned around and guaranteed it to Derek Fisher. You just can't make this up. You just can't make this up. You just can't make this up.
That's why I was laughing, Maria.
You just can't make this up.
It's laughable.
And you know, it's laughable to you. It's laughable to you. It's laughable to you. You just a jerk, man. Why don't you just go away?
Thank you.
I'd rather her hug me than you.
Thank you.
You know, I don't
you.
like him right now. I
Yeah.
really don't.
It's okay. You're a national.
It's really not
It's going to
funny.
be fine.
It's
Everything's
bad.
going to be fine.
It's bad.
Remember, you got to stay together.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.